Hey guys, in this video I'll be sharing with you what the general game plan is for Planckie in 2016. At the end of this video you'll understand exactly what we're going to be working on and when, and because of this you'll be able to help us with the right things at the right time. So let's get right into it with the overall timeline for Planckie in 2016. So we started off in March with some requirements for the first generation app. First generation app is basically an app which allows users to track activities, edit their activities, view their performance, and receive very basic content from coaches. So in the months of April and May, Jared and Matthias worked on code and I worked on the content, and in June we scaled back from working on code and content and we're now working on setting up several frameworks. So we're working on setting up certain feedback mechanisms so that we could create and actually collect feedback from users, whether it's via a chat tool on the app or via a survey or by just measuring what users are actually looking at and doing on the online app. So June is all about measuring, creating dashboards, setting KPIs so that you could understand and learn. July, August, and September, we're going to focus on the algorithm and the user interface. In October, we're going to focus on creating new content for the app. In November, we're going to work on functionality which allows users to invite others to use Planckie. And in December, we're going to launch the second generation version of the app. Second generation simply means that the coaches are very much intelligent and that the responses that each user receives is going to be personalized to a certain level. There's also going to be a third and a fourth generation app, but we're going to launch with the second generation app, which should impress the heck out of anyone. So let's get right into the framework, and the first thing is the lean canvas. So lean canvas is a very compact form of writing a business plan. It helps you answer 9 different questions so that you're able to identify, capture, and deliver value for your customers. It's not something that you do once, so we're going to be continuously reviewing it and updating it. So I'm going to share this with you guys online and you could give some feedback on it. The next thing we're going to be working on this month is the Planckie pitch. I'm going to post several pitches on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be pitching Planckie to a young audience, to older audience, to investors, to partners, and this should help give you guys some ideas of things that you could say to get people excited about Planckie, and hopefully you could give me some feedback on these pitches. So I'm going to continue to just work on them over and over until we get them perfected. You don't have to be all perfect in the first week or the first month, but once we keep reviewing and improving, we're going to eventually get there. Next thing we're going to be focusing on this month is the registration process. The main question here is how can we improve that signing up process so that it's just very low barrier, so that anyone could just fill it in without thinking too much. It's all intuitive and everything should work smoothly. So once users register, we want to help them onboard. Onboarding process is simply answering the question of what we want users to do and what we want users to understand before they use our product. So we're going to use some videos, we're going to use some other functionalities so that people could onboard and understand exactly what to do within the first minute after they've registered. If you're paying attention, you probably noticed that it's a funnel or it's a process from left to right, right? First, with the lean canvas, we kind of define what our value proposition is, who our market is, who our customers are. And because we have defined that, we're now able to pitch Planckie. After we pitch Planckie, we're able to send someone to register. After someone has registered, then it's time for them to get the onboarding. Once they have done the onboarding, then they need some support. So the support is the next step in the funnel, and this month we are setting several tools in place so that we could supply or provide some really cool support via chat services. The last two elements in this framework is the fact that we're going to be measuring so that we could learn more about our customers and improving our KPIs. From left to right, I talk about upstream and downstream. So if you guys want to help out, and you have to choose between giving some feedback on upstream or downstream, let's start upstream, right? Because the more to the left you give feedback, the more useful it is in the entire process. It doesn't make sense to have great user support if no one is able to register, right? So register comes before giving user support. So therefore I say registration is more upstream in this process. So let's start way upstream as possible, right? Help me with lean canvas, help me get the Planckie pitch. Once we get those things tweaked, then we could just move down in the funnel towards the right. So here's a call to action for this week. There's two things. First, accept my invite from leanstack.com so that you could give some feedback on the lean canvas. I will literally be updating this every single week. Subscribe to my YouTube video. I'm also going to share this to you via email so that you could follow pitches like this one, but also just regular Planckie pitches. Very useful, and it's very important that we continuously improve them so that we could communicate very crisp and sharp exactly what value we provide and to whom. So a couple of other updates. The registration process is being measured using SurveyMonkey. So each time someone registered, they fill in a form and give us some feedback, and that's working very fine. So we'll be making some changes to the current registration process thanks to this tool. For the onboarding tools, we're going to be making some new videos, and I'll use some female voiceovers. For the support section, Matthias and Gerard, they're working on implementing MailChimp, Mandrill, but also Intercom, and we'll be updating the FAQs on our help page. With regards to measuring and learning and improving our KPIs, I'll show you a dashboard a bit later, but as of last Sunday, June the 12th, we did our first baseline measurement, and each week from now on we'll have the dashboard with the newest KPIs. So we're doing all this to find a perfect product market fit, right? We're trying to find out what's the perfect product for our market, or what's the perfect market for our product. So that means that I'll be talking a lot to customers in the upcoming weeks and months, but I'm also going to be talking to businesses, tangible as well as online businesses. I'm giving them a pitch, and the pitch says, hey, Planckie is going to have 100,000 registered users in 2017. We're going to be giving them content about working out. Would you like me to mention your gym? We're going to be giving them content about certain supplements and vitamins. Would you like me to mention your online business? Of course, everyone is going to say yes, right? So I get to put my feet in the door, tell them about Planckie, and during the year build trust. Later in the year, I'm going to give them a different pitch. I'm going to give them an even better pitch. It's a marketing pitch where I actually explain them how their company could use Planckie to grow their business. Basically, what we expect is we want to have them give us their email addresses of, let's say, 2,000 or 3,000 users, put their users on Planckie, and then I explain them how we could use Planckie to grow their business through their existing customers. I'm not going to go too much in detail in that strategy in this presentation right now. All I want you to know is that besides talking to regular consumers, I'm also talking to companies so that I'll be learning from both sides of the customer fence, the side of the consumers, but also on the side of companies that are also providing services for these consumers. It's very, very important that we understand this market, and it could also help us have a really great battle launch at the end of this year. So product market fit from two angles. That's it for framework. Let's move on to the algorithm. So the algorithm is the single thing that differentiates us from all the other apps out there. Why? Algorithm determines what users see, right? Whether it's a certain avatar, wearing a certain accessory, or the physical environment, which is the outdoor scenery, right? It's the office, it's the weather, it's the furniture in the room. The algorithm really determines what the users see. But what the algorithm also does is it determines what the users hear from the coaches, or actually I should say what they read. So whether it's health content, storytelling, or a personal feedback, this is by far the most value-driving aspect of the app. It's not our ability to track how much time you spend sleeping, or how much time you spend doing a certain activity, or what your graphs look like. It's really about what you see and what you hear on the app. So whatever you see or whatever you hear has to make users say, wow. Both content as well as visual features has to keep users glued to the screen. And if that's not working, it means that the app is not working and creating huge value. I mean that someone has to get fired, right? Just put it in a fun way. But it's not an option. We really have to have a smooth algorithm that just surprises people and keep them coming back each time. My little brother's coming to the Netherlands in a couple of weeks, so in the month of July and August he's going to be helping me work on an algorithm, and that fits in nice with our schedule for the rest of this year. So the second thing we're working on is the content, besides the algorithm, is the interface and the design. And the interface has to do with positioning of elements. We want to have this perfected as well. So the question here is, where do certain elements come on the screen, whether it's a button or it's a coach, right? What's the shape of the element? What's the size of it? What color? What happens when you touch it, or what happens when you roll over it? How do you access the button in the first place? User interface is very, very important for us to be able to have an intuitive app, and this just increases the way that someone will interact with the app and the coaches. The KPIs is something that we're measuring as we speak. We're going to continually evaluate the KPIs, improve the code, and continue to tweak. And this basically shows that at the core of building a strong retention engine, we need to be continuously measuring and evaluating based on what we measure, and improving all aspects of the business, whether it's the value proposition or the content or the algorithm. So we have a couple metrics that we have defined. The retention is actually one of them. I just used 80% here as an example. Viral, we're not focusing on right now. And in terms of business to consumer, the target is for us to speak to 2 customers every month, starting in June. So when we do all this, it positions us to have a beta launch in December 2016. This is an example of the first dashboard from June the 12th. I'll just give you one example. So this first dashboard tells us how much time it took each user after they have registered for them to watch the most important video, which is the introduction video, which explains them how the app works. So 25% watched the video within 1 minute. 12.5%, it took them 3 minutes before they clicked to watch the video. It took 6.3% of the users 10 minutes, and 50% of the users never clicked on the video. That's definitely something that we have to work on. I'm not going to go through all of these dashboards, but just know that these are actually all real numbers, and I'll be explaining that in another video. So we want to become obsessed with learning from our customers so that we could find the perfect product to market fit. This is the summary of everything that I've discussed here in this presentation. June is the month that we work on our support system, on the chat service. It's the month that we start to measure and improve based on KPIs. July, August, and September, we work on the algorithm and the user interface. In October, we work on the content. November, we work on functionality that helps users to invite friends to Planckie. And in December, we're able to launch our beta version of the 2nd generation app. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and speak to you guys soon.